This right here is Senator John Kennedy at his best. Watch as he clashes with an arrogant Democratic expert during this intense hearing.
With a gas car and drive an electric car. Can any of you give me a figure?
Yes, Senator, the Treasury Department reports we spent about $1 billion year to date. So for the first half of this year, so roughly $2 billion this year.
We're behind.
As I noted,
how much do you think it'll cost, Doctor? You're a doctor,
so
right?
$2 billion this year is what the estimate from the Treasury Department.
How much do you think it will cost for us to, let's say, get 75% of these 200?
How much will it cost American consumers to remain?
How much? Do you know how much it'll cost, Doctor?
No one knows the future with certainty, Senator.
Right. You just think we ought to keep throwing money at it until we hit the jackpot.
I think we ought to set a stable policy framework that allows American consumers to become familiar with the environment and American businesses to innovate and to compete within that stable framework. That's what I said earlier in my testimony.
And how much will that cost?
Will cost less than the benefits delivered by the policy.
You don't care how much it costs, do you?
I care if the benefits exceed the costs. I don't care about the costs. These are investments in the public.
You don't care how much it costs, do you?
I care very much how much it costs. As long as the benefits exceed the costs, that's an investment worth making.
Well, so, okay.
How much does it cost to seed the industries of the future to China?
I get to ask the questions, Doc.
Sorry.
You're at Princeton, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. How are Jewish students doing at Princeton? Are they feeling better?
No, that has nothing to do with the hearing today. I'm not going to comment on that.
I didn't think you'd want to talk about that. Do any of you have any idea how much it would cost?
Senator,
to get, say, 75% of the American people driving electric cars?
If I could, your question is fair. One answer to it is the cost of inaction of the U.S. not competing is far greater than any incentive on the front end.
Okay, quantify that for me. Oh, man, I'm way over. I'm sorry, Sheldon. Quantify that for me. Because here's
Why don't you wrap up with this, because I think everybody's had a chance to try to answer your question, and
here's
you're
my
repeating
problem.
it at this point.
Okay, we all want clean air. We all want bright water. We all want to eat, and we all want to live indoors. Okay? But there are trade-offs in all of this. Despite what the Princeton professor thinks, we don't have unlimited money. This is not Princeton. So we have to decide the cost and the benefits. And nobody seems to be able to quantify the costs. They just say, keep throwing money at it, throwing money at it, throwing money at it. And nobody can really quantify the benefits, except if we don't do it, then we're all going to die. And when I go back to my people and say, your electricity costs have gone up 30%, but it's for a good cause. Why, Kennedy? Because you're going to die if we don't do it. Why, Kennedy? Because a professor at Princeton says so. That doesn't work for most Americans. Can you answer that for me? You see my frustration. I love driving an electric car. I think they're really cool. But the median household income in my state's $55,000. Our Princeton professor probably makes that in a week. Okay? They don't care what they think at Princeton. Can you answer that for me, guys?
Even if we did agree with what the professor was saying, we don't have the money to spend for that. We don't have the luxury to do that. We're not like you. But that's the thing with almost every single Democrat. They try and play on your emotions. It doesn't matter what policy we're talking about. They never come back with finite statistics, things that can be proven. The world's going to end in 3 years if you don't chip in 1/3 of your salary. How insane are these people? Senator John Kennedy is right on the money. We're not going to do this if you cannot back it up with facts and evidence. I don't care what university you went to. You could go to Yale, Harvard, Princeton. You can go to the frickin' moon. That doesn't mean that you're entitled to 1/3 of our paycheck. This is insane, and the professor is just being incredibly pompous and pretentious towards Kennedy. But in actuality, he's acting this way towards us. If anybody has any dissenting voices or anyone disagrees with what he may or may not say, then we are the bad people. It's absolutely clown world.
Good. Cost, but I can tell you that just last year alone, China in the EV market subsidized it by $12.4 billion, and that's their annual spend. It's more than, even with in our best year, it's more than 2/3 of the United States spends.
But let me ask you a question. How much will it cost China to become carbon neutral by 2050?
I am very concerned. Well, they won't, but I'm more concerned about the risk to the U.S. economy of losing the auto manufacturing industry.
How much would it cost them? Do you know? See, nobody talks about the cost. I'll tell you how much it'll cost them. It'll cost them $1 trillion a year starting today to be carbon neutral by 2050. You know how much it'll cost Russia? $250 billion a year, 3 times what their defense budget. Now, if you believe that Vladimir Putin is going to spend $250 billion for climate change, then you'll never own your own home. So we go spend all this money, which y'all can't quantify. We just keep spending. They don't spend the money. They're at an advantage, and you know how much world temperatures are lowered? None. 0, zilch, nada. And I can't believe our chairman hadn't cut me off. But I am done.
Now's your moment. Thank you, Senator Kennedy, for your enthusiastic participation in this hearing.
I just wish we had time to talk about all this. I think this is fascinating.
The hearing wrapped up with Senator Kennedy bringing it home to real people. In his state, the median household income is $55,000. These rising electricity costs and expensive EVs, they're hitting regular Americans hard. The experts talked about benefits like charging costs and driving experience, but couldn't put a price tag on the transition.
These are the same people who want to take away your right to choose. They want you to only have the option of driving an electric car. If you want to drive a gas-powered car, good luck, because they are trying to strip away that right. Even Elon Musk, he owns Tesla. He's probably the biggest advocate in the world for electric vehicles and sustainability, and he still says people should have the right. People should not be forced to drive electric cars because there's a multitude of problems associated with everyone driving electric. There's not enough charging stations, the lithium batteries, it's very bad for the environment, and the slave labor involved. There are many issues with all electric cars, and yet this professor from Princeton mentioned none of them. He's only mentioning it needs to be done or else the world's gonna end. Yeah, okay, buddy. My own personal theory on electric cars and why the government is pushing them so much. It's not because they want to do it for the environment. I think they want to do it for power. Because let's just say something like COVID ever happened again, and we all had to stay in our houses, we can't go out, this, that, or the other. Let's just say something like that happened again, or perhaps even worse. If we all drove electric cars, the government are in control whether you can or cannot leave your house. If they dictate past 9 p.m. no one's going out, they shut off the power. You're not able to operate your vehicle, you're not able to leave. Now, don't you think that's too much power for a government? Perhaps I'm being too conspiratorial, but I genuinely believe in the future, if we keep going down this path and we don't give the people the option, that may be a possibility. All that I'm saying is that people want more of their paycheck. Stop saying the world's gonna end. We all know that's not true. Just let us keep more of our money and have the option of choosing whether we want to drive automatic, whether a gas-powered vehicle, or whether electric. That's it. That's all the people want. It's pretty basic. So we really have to thank the good senators in this country like John Kennedy who is standing up and just exposing this and not let people like this phony professor tell us what we can and cannot do. So thank God for him. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this down below. Do you own an electric vehicle? And if so, are you a proponent of everyone going electric? Or do you think people should have the option whether or not they want to? What do you think are the benefits and what are also the downsides of everyone going that way? Please let me know. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions. And if you enjoyed, make sure to smash that like, comment, subscribe, and I wish you guys nothing but the best. Till next time.